Not too many of us, but that's all right. Hey, everybody. Tonight is Thursday, April 18th. It's the fourth night of the 4-day nighttime house painter bot challenge. Just a quick recap. So far, we have two bots. We have a bot for the website. Looks like that. It's just a chat bot in the live chat only. We're not doing anything other than that. Works pretty good. It'll book an appointment. But then if you see here, this website, which comes with the snapshot, is a offer where they can put their name and their email and their phone, agree to the terms, claim their discount, and then we start emailing them from the offer bot. So that's the second bot that we built. That's what we're working on now. It's an email bot. So we're going to test it via email, which is kind of where we left off yesterday. And that's all we got to do to finish up. So once we finish that up, we will we'll pretty much be done with this course. I'll ask if you guys have any questions. I'll wrap up the snapshot and I'll share it with everybody. And then you'll have the whole thing to yourself and you can do whatever you want with it. You can change the niche. You can use it as is for painting, whatever you want. Okay. Any questions before I get started? Boom, let's go. All right. Okay, so yesterday we left some notes, finalized the bot, which is really testing the summary. So let's try this bot one more time, or at least let me open my email and see where we were. And you're working on lots of bots. It's confusing. Okay, so that's going to be, here we go. So here's our conversation from yesterday. And it worked. So let's see, 23 hours ago. So I said, hey, Michael, how about that offer? Looking good to you? Let me know. And I said, I'm interested. And it said, fantastic. Make sure we'll cover all the details. If you have any questions, because I said yes, I didn't say I'm not interested in the offer. I said, great, let's do it. So this is the happy path, meaning all yeses. You always want to test with a happy path, because it usually works better than the not happy path. So that it says, see you Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. I was like, what's up? It's not working. So I reset the bot, and then it said again, it sent out this override message, right? That's why it's the same thing, because I restarted the bot. And so it did the same exact thing. It's very predictable when you send an override message. It's exactly what you want to say. How about that offer? I say I'm interested. It says fantastic. Would you like to dive into the details? Okay, because here's our flow. It's over here. Is the offer good, right? And just keeps kind of, if you have questions, it'll keep answering questions. If you say no, it'll say, why don't you sign up and let's talk about it, right? So it drives you to the next stage, which is going to be asking morning or afternoon slot or square footage. So it's going to say, yes, I'm interested. I say, fantastic. Would you like to dive into details? I say, yes, I'd be interested. It says, great, let's get your house looking the best. When's a good time to chat about details? And it went right into booking. And it didn't really work well. So that's why I want to find out why. So here's what I want to do. So I want to go to my CloseBot or my Go High Level. I want to get rid of my contact. Get rid of all of them. Okay. And I'm going to trigger this bot again just by doing the form. So he'll come through as Michael Scott, come to my personal email address. So here's how the form works, right? I click this. Even yesterday, we tweaked the form a bit to make sure that the thank you message appears. You don't have to go to a thank you page. You can if you want. I showed you how it's in the options on the form builder, right? Cool. All right. So in a second, I should get an email. It's the override messages are quick. So I already got the override message. Hey, Michael, how about that offer? Looking good to you. Let me know. Oh, and as an aside, look, the first message it sends, it has the unsubscribe. So it's legit. It's legal, right? That's all you got to do is provide that to them. So I'm going to say, let's see what happens if I say not interested, which is no. It should respond by doing this. This is the Picasso offer bot. Oh, I'm going to do something else while you're here. Remember the other day when I was building these bots and I messed my own bot up because whenever you refresh the page, it resets to the top of this menu. So I figured something out. Very simple trick you can do. So this is a totally separate aside, but it'll be very helpful if you have lots of bots. Go to your top bot in your menu. It's always going to be the lowest number. That's like your default bot, right? And you usually don't want to mess with it. And I accidentally did the other day because the menu refreshed. And I've done it more than once, so it's really irritating to me. So here's how you solve for that until version 2 comes out. Rather than Rosenbot default, looks like everything else. There's 4 Rosenbot bots. I can't tell them apart. I'm going to go do not touch default bot. And I'm even going to see if I can add like a warning. Do not touch default. No, if I save that, look at the menu now. Can't miss that. So, fun little tip. So, it's very easy to see, especially with the emoji, which I just came up with just now. I don't know why I don't have emojis on my bots. Oh my God. Newsflash. Emojis on bot titles, if you have all these bots, wow, that could be huge. Because if you make a lot of bots, you know that as you add bots and then add bots, it just keeps going down this list, and it's very hard to keep track of. Anyway, let's get back to the bot. So if I go to objectives, it's saying any questions. I said not interested. Let's see how it responds. Oh, no worries. Is there anything holding you back? Maybe we could tweak the offer a bit to make it more appealing. Huh. Wow, that sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna say reply kind of offer. And this is a very simple bot, folks. It just says any questions.
It's the wrong bot, Josh.
Thank you. Who was that? Andrew, good catch. So if you're staring at this I've been doing this for 5 hours already today at bots all day until now, but thank you. So yes, thank God I did that. So I'm going to go to the Picasso offer bot. Thank you, sir. And, I know it's working because it's going offer good, offer good. And I told it, the offer is a 50% offer. And this is hard coded in here, by the way. So let's fix that real quick and watch this. This is amazing. So I'm going to go to this here is the discount price. So if I go to settings, custom values, offer value. I'm sorry, I'm just going to copy this, right? And then all I got to do in CloseBot, I'm going to just replace the text with the custom value. So now it's hard coded, so it knows where the value starts at, and you give it another number here. You can put a custom variable there. So that's actually a really powerful little technique I'm showing you here, is by leveraging Go High Level and built-in custom fields with the new technique of being able just to paste that right in here. You don't have to put it in your webhook. If you've never made bots before, you're in luck, because that's way easier than it was and very powerful. Okay. So the offer starts at that. You can negotiate. So let's see if it's negotiating with me. I said, what kind of offer? I'm able to nudge that discount up a bit. Yes, I'd be interested. So obviously you need to be careful, because it'll really give discounts and people may try to game it. But if you're like a house painter, I mean, you can just call them. It's not like you're selling a widget for $5 and there's 10,000 people a day. I don't think. If so, that's great. And you have enough money to figure it out how to fix that.
Is there any way to make it go faster, like to do 2 things at once, where it like says, oh, we could give you a deal, maybe you had a 17% out or something like that,
Well, I mean, you can put it in the prompt. So my prompt just says you can negotiate with them to get to yes and go up 1% or 2 until you get to 21. So I'm leaving it up to the bot. You could change this prompt to be whatever you want for the negotiation portion. If you got some clever way to like do a formula you have to do a nice offer, anything you want, you'd put it in this prompt here. So yeah, if you want to change how it negotiates, put it in here. You just have to trial and error, try it again and again. Sometimes I'll take my sub prompt, put it into ChatGPT directly, OpenAI, and say, I want to have a conversation with this prompt. And then it'll just start, I can talk to sub prompts and stuff. We're not going to do that now, but okay. So show. Fantastic. When would be so it didn't actually give me the offer, which is interesting. And it's trying to book a phone call with me, which is fine. When would be the best time to discuss this further, mornings or afternoons? Remember, we have this here. It's going to say mornings or afternoons, and then a square foot to get the job, to give them a little estimate. So I'm going to say, so far this bot's working great, folks. Now, if you did want the bot to, for instance, in the response here, we're talking about our deal, and it said it could nudge it up. It didn't give me the price. If you say you could always try, always give the offer, always respond with the actual offer number and see how that works. So so usually that will always respond then with the offer number, right? You can try all sorts of different ways to get the bot, but what the cool about this is in terms of simplicity for a bot, this is still the main prompt that it's going off of, and it works really well. So as you change this, and every time you do change it, it could change substantially. So be aware that if you're testing and everything's going pretty good, and you're like, oh, well, change this a little bit, it could totally throw your bot off. So that's why just, be careful when you mess with these because they're pretty powerful. So it responded to me saying its afternoons are great. Before we set a time, now it's asking me square footage. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? It's asking me how many square feet. There's not even any subprompt here. It just says find out the square footage to be painted. That's all I have to tell it. It says perfect. I'll make a note of that before we set a time. Could you share how big the area is? Knowing the square footage helps us plan better. It sounds just really human, and as we mentioned, you could always change the tone of the bot. Here, right now it's friendly, which means it's going to sound friendly is like it's always friendly. But anyway, I'm going to reply to this. So how many square feet? Let's make this easy. I'll just do 1,000 square feet. There's a few ways to do estimates using Go High Level. Okay. One is I could have just taken the answer to square foot, which I store in a field, and done a math calculation in a workflow in Go High Level and saved it to a field. That's one way you could have done that, but I'm doing it a different way. I'm doing an inline estimate, I call it, where the chat bot of CloseBot is actually going to do the estimate for you. So then I say, give them a price estimate. So this next thing that it's working on right now is give them a price estimate for painting their house. And I give it a little formula and I say, estimate the cost to paint at lead names house, multiply the square footage, which it should know because that's a question it asked, by $10 a square foot. And then it says, don't give the estimate till it's complete. And I know this because I've done this before. And then after the estimate, say something to guide the conversation forward. So they respond. Obviously, if you have a complex formula, and I'm working on some really complex formulas that are like multi-page, you got to do it in a knowledge base, and it takes lots of testing. So I like to start simple, and this is pretty simple. Okay. So it responded 1,000 square feet. $10,000. That's right. I'm in the right business. So, because I said it's $10 a square foot, obviously that's ridiculous for painting, but it's a fake offer bot, right? And this way, no one will bother me to actually paint their house. If someone says yes to this offer, I will come to their house and paint it myself. So it's pretty good. So now here's what's interesting. So it still resolved back to the original offer, but of 50% off. So it didn't do anything regarding the, it says I could nudge it up a bit, but it also didn't promise it would nudge it up a bit, right? You could maybe get it to do that. We don't have enough time in this class to get that negotiating portion of the bot to work well, but that's all right in this one prompt. You got that one prompt, and you would use ChatGPT to really dial in that prompt. You'd say, talk to me with this prompt. You dial it in, and you tweak it. You'd say, rewrite it now to reflect what I just said to you. And it's a whole nother class I'll do about how to do prompt engineering for prompts. Pre-prompt engineering, let's call it. Okay, cool. So the next step, I'm going to say, great. So it's going to say 50% off. Do you want to schedule? I'll say, yes, please proceed, because we got to get this class finished up. I want to open up the questions and stuff and show you whatever you want for, I want to make sure we get everything done. So I'm going to say, yes, please. And it's going to go to this wait step. And the reason I'm going to this wait step is there's two reasons. Well, there's mainly one reason. One is that this bot is email right now. So there is some time for the bot to process before it emails, but not that much. So if you have a complicated estimate, and I know this from experience, the next objective may trigger before the estimate is done, right? So this just gives it time to work on it. I know it sounds weird because it comes after this, right? Because it's going to do the estimate. It just, trust me, this is how this works best. Well, we'll find out, won't we? So I said, yes, please proceed. It's going to say, do you mind waiting a moment while I check our schedule? Okay, because we're also going to be switching. Don't forget. Oh, yeah. So the reason we're doing this is because it's not for the estimate. I forgot. It's two reasons. One, because of the estimate is being calculated. And it's also going to change the calendar based on if they said morning or afternoon, right? So this step just allows the bot to catch up. It's not necessary all the time. Lots of times green give info steps, if you took them out of a bot flow, the flow would work just fine, okay? Unless you're giving an important link. So it asks, can you wait a second while I check our scheduling calendar? And that's actually kind of stupid in a texting environment. In an email environment, come to think of it. Like on text, I've never done an email. On text, it's interesting. On text, the user experience is like, sure, I'll wait a second. But on email, I'd be like, why'd you send me an email to wait a second to send me an email? So let's do this. I'm going to take this step out because it doesn't work. And I only found
Is this something you can handle in the prompt of that step if you like reference the contacts? Like I can't remember, you have some variable for it. Is that like something like where the prompt could skip itself, like skip the priority?
Here, so prompts will never skip themselves. The only way something in here is going to get skipped. You mean an objective?
No, in the prompt, like say like, oh, if contact variable blah 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 blah, then proceed to next priority or something like that.
No, you can't do that yet. You can't do that kind of logic. But what you can do is theoretically, I could have done. Let's say that they chose an afternoon slot. I could have looked for that in a workflow and go high level, and then I would have a step in that workflow that would say, okay, now I want you to check the wait step for goals accomplished, and then it will skip this step. So if a goals accomplished is so these goals accomplished is one field and go high level on every contact, and it has every single objective title in it for every bot that's attached to the sub account. So it's going to be long, but you'll see one called wait, right? So if that's checked, it's going to skip wait. So that's another way to skip steps.
In your automation, then you would say also if email, if it's email, skip.
Yeah, you actually could. That's a good point. Okay, let's do that. Watch. Good. Thank you, sir. My cousin David, everybody. Say hi. So, yeah, great bot. So what he's saying is why, if the wait step was good this is a great point. So if the wait step here is good for SMS, because I've done it a ton of times. It really does work well on SMS, but for email, it's not necessary. Don't use it. But we still want to keep it in the objective flow because we only have one bot. So what do? And we have time to do this. So watch. So I'm going to go to automations. And I'm going to call this one skip. And I'll just wait step for email. Pretty standard. So what I'm going to do is I want to look for so I want to look for I got it. So I don't want to do, okay, watch. So I'll make a copy of Rosenfeld marketing. So watch. So here's how this is going to work. Let me write down what I'm doing. Well, I'll remember it for the notes. Doesn't matter. Okay, cool. So you can't really do an if then on a trigger, but what you can do is this. I'm going to do, let me think. So our workflow for the email that we're sending. Oh yeah, this will work easily. So we have this form for the workflow offer for the form. Remember that's what triggers this bot that we're talking to right now. So there's a step that says set last comm type to email, right? So that's what I was about to check for, but I can do another thing too. So in here, I'm just going to do update contact field, and I'm going to call this one skip wait step in bot for email. So you guys know what this is. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to update the goals accomplished field. I'm going to check off wait. Okay. That's how you do it.
And you didn't even need to add a new step. You could have done it in the set last comm type to email also, right?
You can do it everywhere. Anywhere you can get in that kind of a little trigger, it'll affect the bot. So anywhere you can turn on and off goals accomplished, it'll affect how the bot works.
Cool.
Okay. So let's save this, publish it. So that means that I can do let's say we skip that step. So hopefully you're not going to see this next time, but you will on SMS. Does that make sense, everybody? Who's in the class right now? Andre, David, Paul, Scott. Andrew. Yeah, if you've been following along with other stuff, it should. It's just you got to know the goals accomplished to really make the bot skip stuff or not skip stuff. So that's the secret. And this is kind of a what we just did was kind of a neat way to use or not use an objective. And this could have been any objective we wanted. We could have said skip the estimate if they don't give a square foot. They refuse to give a square foot, skip the estimate if that goal isn't accomplished or whatever. There's lots of ways to deal that. Like you could put a limit on square foot, like only ask 3 times. So it'll continue, but the goal won't be accomplished. I think. Yeah, is that how it works? Yeah, it would, because the goal's not accomplished. I've never actually. I think that'll work. I'm going to turn it off. I'm not going to keep it as it is. I don't want to mess you guys up. Okay, cool. So now it's going to go into booking. I'm going to say sure, no problem on the wait step, just to move it forward. But see how long that took? That took like 2 minutes. So that's what's amazing about how do you make the bot do what you want compared to all this other stuff like Zappy or Converse, what is it, Convertica or Converser or something like that, or all these different tools. There's nothing like CloseBot in terms of just being able to get it to do what you want with some intermediate, basic to intermediate to even advanced, go high level skills. You can do incredible things because this is relatively limited in what it can do, in fact. So the limitations of what this will do, kind of pushes you to be good at go high level. And the things you're learning go high level, if this bot were to, God forbid, disappear, you'd be able to go to another bot because you're going to understand how flows work and all this stuff. You'll hope that you had objectives and whatnot, but at least you'll know how to prompt a bot. I mean, I know how to write these now in prompting. I can write a prompt for this whole thing in one swoop to test it in OpenAI to make a new bot. It's really amazing what you can do once you get this whole, the whole CloseBot thing. So I'm glad you guys are checking it out. So I said, sure, no problem. It responded. Here we go. It's going to book me. How does Monday, April 22nd sound? Sounds great. See you then. Okay. So it's going to respond with a thank you. We'll make sure booked on the right calendar. Show you how to do that. Notice, and remember I said I like afternoons way back here. So it did book me on the afternoon calendar. So that worked. So in booking, remember we're doing the switching of the calendar based on whether or not the field that we set back here for morning or afternoon is set to morning or afternoon. If it's at the morning, we set this custom field and go high level to the morning permalink on the calendar. Watch yesterday if you don't know what I'm talking about. Or if it's afternoon, we set it to the other permalink, and then CloseBot just uses the custom field straight out of go high level now to switch. That's huge. That's so much better and easier than it used to be. I've seen people have multiple calendars, and like what we just did where you're turning on and off different goals set based on previous answers, it would turn off one of 10 calendars basically. And then that's how it works. So you don't have to do that stuff anymore. So that's pretty recent. So that's amazing. So I said, sounds great. See you then in the email. Says perfect. We'll set it. Have a wonderful evening. Bot complete. Okay, cool. Now let me just see if I got a one of those confirmation emails. Although this isn't hooked up to a calendar. So now let's look and see how this is stored in go high level. So I don't need to do the skip wait step anymore because we did it in workflow itself. So that saved us some effort because I did it right in a workflow that existed and it worked great. Okay. So I'm going to go back to look at the contact that was created because I want to show you guys some stuff. I don't need to save this. So I'll say confirm. So let me get rid of this workflow. We don't need it for the snapshot. Okay. So, yeah. So if I go to the contact, Michael Scott, there he is. Here's what a contact looks like. Here's all my goals accomplished. Placeholders in there because that's how the first bot is. This is kind of yucky, but it'll get better. It works well. I mean, it works good enough. But be aware that let's say you have a wait step, and let's say you're working for a business and they have a booking bot, or maybe they have like a bot about their corporate retreats. They have a bot about their nightly rentals. They have a bot about their workshops, right? And that's kind of the flow. You have a reception bot, 3 sub bots. It kind of routes it based on what the customer might be looking for, and they each have a wait step. If you name each step wait on each different bot, it's all going to share this one variable, unfortunately. So even though you only see one wait, there might be multiple waits in all the different bots you're attached to this. So lately, I've been really labeling all these goals via like this would actually be called wait, offer bot. This would be the best way to do it. So I'll actually do that. But if I do that, it's going to mess up. I don't want to mess up the workflow thing we just did. So, but be aware, naming is really important. Once you start getting lots of bots, just like any, once you start developing for real, one bot, you're the customer, not a big deal. 3 bots, you're the customer, harder. 3 bots, 3 customers, harder, so on and so on. So I like to prepare for that from the beginning. But sometimes I don't. Like when we did this class, I really didn't worry about my naming conventions because I knew there was only 2 bots and whatever. But if it was my own sub account, if it was my own go high level and I was the painter, that would be enough. But if I had painter clients, I'd want to label these better. Okay. So just as a little aside here. So if we look through here, let's look and see what the fields are filled out. Last Comm Type is set to email because they did offer bot. Here's the latest auto response. So this is what the bot just said. So you can use this if you want to do something. Like you could have a trigger that says when this field changes, I want you to turn the AI off, do some crazy thing outside and go high level, like hit an API. And I've seen people do this, hit an API to get like a home price, come back, set a variable, and turn the bot back on. And you keep doing that. So there's all sorts of crazy things you can do. And again, here's this message history. So, you could send this field when objective is complete. I think we did something like that, when, client summary. Remember we did that. So when the appointment is booked, the tag is added, the CloseBot adds on there. It's just going to send a summary with that value in it. So, pretty cool. But that's where it is in the contact. And then here's all the tags that it added on here. And you could even test by adding and turn. If you have a trigger a workflow, you can turn on and off tags right in here to trigger workflows quickly. So that's another way to do testing. But anyway, so that is, and here's the whole workflow. Now we want to see if the appointment's correct. So I go to calendars. I can just click here and look appointments because this is calendar's not hooked up to anything. So it's not going to make an appointment on my Gmail. Look, there it is. Michael Scott confirmed 1 p.m. Boom, boom, boom. And then, your customer, let's say Picasso Paints is my customer, they'd see this, it'd be on their calendar, it'd be all set. They can, he can do in rescheduling. So let's say Michael Scott sends a link back. So let's do this. Watch. So we have actually, you know what? I'm not going to do this for you, but I'll show you how to do it. People always ask, how do I get the bot to reschedule? Once you've made an appointment, how do you get the bot to reschedule? Here's how you do it. You go to help and resources and you hit an article and you go to general, maybe. Yeah. Allow your bot to cancel appointments. So here's the instructions. So you need to make 2 custom fields. You're saving the reschedule and cancellation link. I mean, the instructions are right here. So, and you're actually including it as I don't want to get into adding things into the webhook in step 2 of CloseBot, but we added the bot field on the webhook, right? So basically you just make up your own variables, pass through the links that go high level makes for rescheduling and canceling, and you send it back to CloseBot, and then CloseBot will always know because you include those links back in the main tag. So it's not complicated. I know that may sound complicated, but if you want to do it, you can learn how to do it yourself. But I just want to leave with that because people do always ask, how do I reschedule? Here's how you reschedule. And I'll do this in my next class. I don't really have time right now to finish it up. So with that, we've completed our 4-day nighttime house painter challenge. Are there any questions from anybody? Who do we have here? Andre, Andrew, David, Paul, Scott. Any questions about anything? It could be any bot related question. It doesn't have to be about the painter bot now. And while you're doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten up these notes and I'm going to make a copy of the snapshot and give it to everybody. So if you have any questions about Go High Level or CloseBot or whatever, I'll try to do my best to help you out or answer you if you have any. If not, I'll do these notes. So finished OfferBot. Tested. Yeah, we finished the OfferBot. We do anything else cool? Yep. We finished offer bot, edited our offer workflow. And then it's SMS wait on, email wait off. What else do we do?
I think there's something you said that you were gonna remember, but you didn't want to
Mm.
write it down at the moment, but I forgot what that was.
You're right. I did say I was going to remember something and put it in here, and I didn't remember it. So if you give me 30 seconds, because we have plenty of time, I remember it. But that's okay. So these notes are live. So whenever I change these notes again, if you guys have this link, let me paste it in here. So I'll put it in. It's in the notes on my school group as well. So here's the link. Let me paste in the chat for y'all. I just think most of you should have this. Okay, so those are the notes for tonight. We didn't do too much. So now we're going to create snapshot. And then we're gonna do one last thing.
Oh, maybe you moved the offer percentage to a variable in the bot prompt.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you, cuz. Moved offer amount in or wait, replaced offer amount and prompt to use GHL custom field.
A quick question, because I know I missed the first day of this.
Yeah.
As you reference, you just like threw in with the double brackets like a variable from
Yeah,
GHL.
it's not even a reference, it's a one-to-one duplicate. So
Yeah, I'm curious.
it
That
is,
part
yeah, it's a reference, sure. If that's how you want to call it, sure. So
or
custom
whatever.
values and
Yeah.
custom fields all have something that looks like this. One's called custom values. And here's the difference. Custom values, when I share the snapshot, these are all going to be blank. So make sure you fill these out. If you do, the emails, I mean, nothing's going to work well. The emails won't go out properly. So, but this is how people share snapshots with clients because it's up to them to fill it out. And it's, could be, this is my private name. I don't want you to copy it. So this is how you can make a snapshot for a client, fill out information and share that. And the next client won't get that.
Cool.
Custom
And
fields, though, these do get shared. So all these custom fields will get shared in the snapshot. So, if there's proprietary stuff in here for your client, just be aware of that if you make a snapshot and send it out. But
we
just
can
like
go
any
ahead.
proper data management would happen if you were dealing with clients. And most small client businesses, it's not going to make a difference if, it's not going to make a difference because the client's not getting in here. If you're dealing with home services or local businesses, it's probably not going to matter, but big businesses would be angry. Okay, so let's make our snapshot. So all we got to do, I'm going to go to my agency view. So right now we've been in the sub account view. We'll do a little go high level here. I'm going to switch back to the agency view. This is where I can control all of my sub accounts, right? So all I want to do, I want to go to account snapshots. I'm going to go to create new snapshot. We'll call this Picasso Paints Final. And then this is, what's the date? 04/18/24. And I'm going to copy Picasso Paints. So this is valuable. People sell these things for thousands of dollars. Or $15, depending how good it is. This one's pretty good, I think.
If you have
Easy
Chatbot.
peasy. What do you say?
Or if you have CloseBot.
What does it mean if you're giving it to us for free then?
I'm giving it to you for free. Nothing. I'm just cool as shit. That's what it means.
Okay, yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, honestly,
cool
I
as
don't know what it
Snapshot is
means.
this.
That's what it means, dude. That's my game. I'm providing a lot of value and I'm making a lot of money making bots. So I just like sharing it out. I feel it'll pay off in the future when I have a lot of followers, be a famous influencer. And I love doing it. It's fun. I mean, I'll keep doing this and we'll talk about that in a second with the bonus. I'm going to do another challenge. I want to figure out what I want to do it. So I'll help you guys. You guys can help me out. All right. So I'm going to do the permanent link for the snapshot. So it's available everywhere. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it in two places. So I'm going to go to my school group. Put it in here first. Only you know about it right now. So I'm going to go to school and I'll just make a new, not edit set. I want to do new add module and set, and we'll go the snapshot. We'll do a fun little, like a picture. I like doing this little picture icon, like a camera. Snap. Boom. The snapshot. Boom. And then all I do is I say here, Want the snapshot? Want the snapshot? Question mark, boom, click, and then I'll do one of my famous pointer fingers. Click here to get it now. Boom, and then I'll turn this into an H1 tag. I'll bold this. I'll add a link to it. The link is what I just made, the permalink. Here, I'll save that. Won't add any video to it. This is published. Boom. Okay, so now let me give you guys the link. So now everyone's got the link. I'm going to give you guys the link. And you'll have this, and you guys can grab my agent chatter link. If you don't have that, that's even bigger and badder than this one by about 5 times, maybe 4 times.
Yeah, if you haven't been in the 30-day challenge, you need to go.
Oh, if you haven't been in a 30-day challenge, you got to go, because first 2 weeks is all about niche selection, pricing, making your offer, and then we then we set it up with brand new Go High Level account, a brand new CloseBot account. So it's a go. You can fly through it in 2 days if you're so inclined. Okay, so here we go, folks. Here's a snapshot link for y'all. Nathan, you probably got it with your autopilot. I don't know how that works. Andre, oh, you're here. Who else? And Jay's note taker. Cool. So not bad for the 4th night. Thank you guys for making it. So, I'm going to keep recording. So here's what I wanted for the bonus. That's not really, I'm not getting, well, what you got was the snapshot. So I'm going to do another one of these, another 4-night challenge. I think this time's pretty good. See, more people could come later than in the daytime when I did it in the middle of the day in America, which is like, who can go? So I want yours opinions on what niche would you want me to cover next? If I were to do this again for a different niche, it could be your niche. Let me know right now.
Subscription product with different tiers, where you take in some kind of client information about their usage of the product and you give them different estimates or something. Like, HubSpot, for example, if you're trying to sell HubSpot, or if you're trying to sell yourself and you had different packages that you were
sure. Well, you can do that through Go High Level. So yeah.
Exactly. I don't know if you've done that already, but just, yeah.
No, I haven't. Everyone would want to know how to do this because a lot of people on here are coaches and they've got their own communities and stuff. So that's interesting. So what product though? What niche?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking more for the old company I was working at, Placer, just to see this would be location analytics.
That's really complex and too complicated for this. So even if it's a new niche you want to go into.
Yeah, I mean, then for me it would be like a CRM setup, like set up your instance.
Well, I want to do a chatbot challenge. It's not going to be a Go High Level challenge, but that's already in the first Go High Level challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you watch that, I explain how to set up a bot, but
if you have your Rosenfeld marketing agency, don't you want a chatbot that's going to be like, hey, I can help you set up your Go High Level?
I do have a chatbot. So you're saying you want a chatbot for your agency?
Correct. Exactly.
Okay. An agency chatbot. Yeah. I mean, everyone has an agency. Well, if you look at agent chatter, because that will teach you how to make an agency bot. Agent chatter. Okay. Yeah. Look at take the 30-day challenge, David. It'll teach you everything you want to know in a few days if you watch them all. But yeah, watch that. So I was thinking, like you mentioned yoga studio before. That's an interesting niche because a lot of people do own studios, especially that deal with CloseBot because they set appointments. Yeah, dude, I already have the Go High Level bot running and people already don't know it's a bot. Huh? People don't like the people are writing in and they're like, wow, that was a quick response. Already set up a bot for the yoga studio? Yeah, exactly. But it's not a CloseBot, just the native ChatGPT. Okay, good. No, that's great. All right. So anyone else with an idea? Anyone else with an idea that's not like really crazy complicated?
What about
Paul, Scott, Andrew, Andre?
An accounting firm that can have a knowledge base of the internal revenue code.
That's interesting. Accounting firm, and we'll do a simple knowledge base, which is the tax code.
Yeah.
huh, you know what? This is so weird. Not weird, but like those people don't, but yeah, I love it. So, okay. So this would be an accounting firm, and the niche would be, well, the niche is accounting, but the sub niche, or the higher up a niche would be like uh consumer services. What kind of accounting firm is it? Is it B2B or B2C?
B2C. Well,
Okay.
it could be both,
Okay.
right? Because
Well, maybe I can make a bot that switches. It says, "Hey, are you here for your business or personal?" And it'll switch to a bot, and that'll be a router.
there you go.
Okay. Because then you only have to look at corporate law or personal law, right? But I don't think you need a knowledge base because don't forget the bot's online, and I feel like I can get it to do tax law. Okay.
Probably could.
Yeah, I think you could too. All right, tax law. Well, tax codes is what it is. So there will be a receptionist, and then there'll be yeah, B2C, the consumer bot. Yeah. B2C bot, we'll give it a cool name. And the B2B bot. And they will answer tax questions.
Yep.
And then it will say, we'll answer tax questions, ask if they'd like to speak to an accountant, to speak to one of our, speak to an accountant.
What if it was, are you already currently working with one of our clients or
Yeah, you could do
one
that.
of our accountants?
Yeah. Well, let's flesh this out. So, Andrew, I'll do this. I'll do this with you next time I do this in like 2 weeks. All right. So we'll do this accounting firm one. Don't flesh this out now. I want to do this as part of the challenge to
All
show
right.
people how like I work with you as the client and we kind of together come up with the flow chart and then we build the bot and it's easier to test and the whole thing. Okay.
All right, cool.
Cool. Yeah, and what I like about it is we're going to be querying a database, which is new, and it's B2C directly, and it's something relatively complicated. It'll have a nice routing bot. It's not real estate, and there's a ton of firms that are like accounting, like they can do your taxes, they can do your what else is there that they do like a firm like what else is like accounting?
Bookkeeping.
Yeah,
Payroll.
yeah, HR.
HR, yeah.
Yep.
A little bit.
Okay. So, okay. Love it. All right. So that's the next niche I'll do because I like it because it's broad enough where multiple businesses will totally get what it is, how it can work for them. And it's, it's
Well,
narrow enough where it's something new that I haven't done yet.
Attorneys and lawyers,
I'm already doing that. I can't do that one. I'm doing that for real.
yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's an obvious use. And I'll tell you, I worked at a law firm for 6 years back in the, early 2000s. So I knew how a personal injury firm worked well with all the verticals, and it was surprisingly fun to make a bot to enhance that department. I never like to say it's going to replace a receptionist or anything, but to enhance a department on off hours, right? Like because they're setting into voicemail at like from 4 a.m. Some answer 24 hours a day, obviously, but imagine having someone to help with all the other incoming things to get business. But the problem with law firms is that if you want to do a rev share with them, unless you're a lawyer, you have to set up something really complex.
Right.
But you could charge them. Yeah, I mean, you definitely could charge them, but what's it worth? I mean, one client to one of those firms could be worth $5 million. Honestly, like, what's it worth? So as you make these, you're going to be able to say, I can charge $250 an hour. You can charge $250 an hour, $150 to $250 an hour. You can charge that out of the gate. If you know how to make a bot pretty good, you can charge that out of the gate.
Yeah.
People will pay that. And once you get really good, you can charge way more, like $400 an hour or $500 for 2 hours or whatever. But then you're going to quickly be like, it's more valuable than that. What I'm making for these folks is just more valuable than the time I put in. So how can I charge more for that? And then I start doing flat rate pricing that's higher price. You'd be like, oh my God, people are paying me more. Yep. But you got to give them more. Then you have to support them more. So, but it's a great career. It's a great industry. But the bot business is awesome. Any other questions? Comments? Things you want to talk about? Except for politics? Just kidding. Okay, cool. So you all have your snapshot. Thank you very much for attending the second challenge I've done. So I'm going to do this next challenge. When are you available, Andrew? Let's say it's the same time Are you available the first week in May?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll shoot for the first week or two in May because I got to take a break. I've done these straight up for 2 months straight. So we'll do the first week or two of May, and I'll promote it like I'm gonna promote this one. So I'll promote this one, a week before. So we'll see how many people we can get there. You can feel free to promote it too. And then I'll give you the snapshot. So you can do what you want with it. If it helps you out, you're great. If not, whatever.
Cool. Appreciate it.
All right. And I do want to do a yoga studio one day because I think that's a great thing. And I also like the subscription product with different tiers, but that's pretty complicated once you get into like managing different external products that could change price and whatnot. But I do like it.
Yeah, exactly. We used to have like verticals, like if you're a CRE
Yeah,
or if
it's
you're
not. Yeah, you could. I don't know how you do it yet. I do know that. So when I talk about version 2 of CloseBot, I've seen like yesterday, I actually got to see it, some of it in a way, and it's going to be amazing. I mean, so all the things you want to do, and you actually will build it. So what's neat is since you've been watching me build this, imagine the next CloseBot's going to have a few widgets over here, and you are going to drag and drop them onto the page, and you are going to connect them with arrows. That's what's coming up in like 4 to 6 months for CloseBot. Totally different. And what's amazing is you'll be able to be like, okay, here, in addition to doing that, I want you to do an API call. And this API call could be to anywhere, to anything that's going to return something to itself, right? And then it's going to continue. So you'll be able to do this in the next CloseBot. And
Now
that
you would have
opens
to,
up the
like-
door to just bananas stuff. And there'll be no more connecting to fields. For instance, in this morning or afternoon slot in the square foot slot, if you want to send it to go high level, you can, but you don't have to yet. But you can whatever you want. You basically can trigger this at any time you want, to update go high level. And you can call this whatever you want. So that's coming. So I got to take this out because I don't want to confuse people. But that's, all the stuff, David, that you could do with HubSpot and Salesforce and the really, really advanced things. Go high level, may be able to do lots of them. CloseBot can't do any of those things directly together. Could you? Maybe. I don't know how to do it. Someone's going to figure it out. But by the time they do, like I said, this will be version 2 of CloseBot, and it'll be drag and drop, and there'll be no more. How many bots do you need? I need 4 bots. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be like, this is just for the business, and here's their whole conversation AI. It's just a whole conversation, different paths, different things, doing different things. It's going to be really, really cool. And if you know version 1, it's going to plug right into version 2. So you'll be fine. You're not going to need to update. So it's not like you're learning anything that's going to be obsolete.
I have a small question. I'm just looking at CloseBot, and they have on the basic versus standard enhanced training. Can you explain what that is?
Where do you see that?
On the pricing of CloseBot, there's like 3 tiers, and in the middle tier, they have enhanced.
I think it's just an extra session.
Yeah, you get a free session with, I think Max is his name, at CloseBot.
I thought the bot was getting like enhanced.
No,
training.
they do a couple onboarding. They do like a group onboarding session, and then maybe you get an onboarding session with Max. But between that and this group and my group and the CloseBot group and just watching these videos, you'll be ahead of the group.
Yeah.
But yeah, they give you an onboarding session. So if you pay a little more, you need at least 3 bots. I mean, 1 bot is enough to play with for a while if you have your own business maybe. But if you want to offer this as a service, you need 3, probably unlimited. But I didn't get my plan right away. I think I may have. I don't know. And I've been using the bots. I've been making enough demos to get business. And this was months ago. I mean, if you make a good demo and show it to a local client, they'll be like, "That's really neat. I need that." And just go from there, and you'll be too busy to know what to do with. Any other questions? No? Awesome. Again, thank you for sticking it out for 4 nights. Again, if you're with me for the 30-day challenge, God bless you. It's been a long time. So I'm going to take 2 weeks off. I'm going to get back. I'm going to do a bot with Andrew. It's going to be a counting bot, and you're all invited to watch the fun as usual. I'll get this video up by tomorrow and today on the school group. And I thank you very much for attending. Bye, everybody.
All right, see ya.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it, buddy.
You got
Take
it.
care, Josh.
See you, buddy.
Yep.
Bye.